Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatne Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namani Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvashesh Srinivadi Paskacha Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Om Gyantimanandasya Gananjala Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpatruviyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Eva Chapatitam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Welcome, everybody. And it's nice to see your faces. Um, Today is some focus on polarization, choices, a way to help someone if they have internal conflict, if they're struggling with any choices in their life. And so we're going to be covering that along with some couple of meditations. And to start, I'm going to talk a little bit about um, intake. So the founder of Expansion Brain Spotting sent us all some information of how she does intake. She does several different screenings for PTSD, the ACEs score, adverse childhood experiences score, mood disorders, dissociation, borderline. Um, and I tend to go with the adult cross-cutting symptoms inventory I've mentioned, and go with other screenings as indicated by the person's symptoms or by the screening itself. And she also asks the person's goals and sets a sort of a starting, 0 to 10 disturbance or activation scale, SUD scale, and asks them, what sort of, what number is your goal? Like what would look like success? And um, and she asks his or her negative thoughts and beliefs with that same scale, 0 to 10. She asks the resources, such as, loved ones, uplifting activities, etc. She asks the person's positive thoughts. She also asks the person's spiritual resources. So for devotees, you can ask their, devotional resources. All this information goes into creating a treatment plan with measurable objectives and how she and the person she's working with will know it's time to graduate, so they have an actual graduation rather than a sense that therapy might keep going or they might just have to say, okay, I'm done, without like an actual sense of graduation. Um, so we're going to right now do a meditation. It's for connecting to a source of guidance and inspiration. So we'll start with relaxation with breathing. So go ahead and put your hands on your belly and do 3 deep belly breaths, expanding your belly. And as you exhale, pulling the belly in. Now place your hands on your lower ribs and do 3 deep breaths, expanding the diaphragm. And now go ahead and do 3 normal deep breaths. Feeling the air going into that expanded belly and the diaphragm. And now we'll do a bit of grounding with a tree image. So imagine that you're a sacred tree. It could be a sacred banyan tree that's sacred to Krishna. Could be a sacred ficus tree. If the banyan tree has too many widespread roots for your visualization. Um, with the branches, reaching for bhakti, for divine inspiration, for that bhakti light and love, and roots reaching deep and far into the ground. Grounding both your energy and any energy you interact with or receive in this meditation. Now imagine there's a vacuum, do some clearing. Imagine there's a vacuum of light at the bottom of your feet, or it could be a magnet pulling any confusion, darkness, or distress from your hips down. Now imagine there's a vacuum of light from above your head, pulling any confusion, darkness, or distress from the tops of your hips up. You can ask whatever deity maybe you like to call on to clear obstacles, to assist with this. Now imagine there's a sacred fire, just the right size of fire burning in front of you. Offer any remaining obstacles and invite your parts to offer any remaining burdens or obstacles to receiving bhakti love, guidance, and inspiration into that fire. Particularly focus on clearing out your belly and your heart and your throat and that third eye, and finally crown. Now focus on an area of your life you would like guidance with, or maybe a specific question. Now release your question or intention, knowing it's been heard. Now, if you'd like, express your prayer to increase connection to a pure devotional guide on the spiritual level, if you have one you prefer. If not, you may express your prayer to invite a pure devotional guide. Feel the love and spiritual potency. You may notice a visual or a feeling, or you may notice some words. Once you notice what you notice about the qualities of your guide, notice how you feel towards this guide. You may get a name now, you may already have one, or perhaps later. You may invite the guide to blend with a place in your body, such as your heart or your entire body, or a place hovering right near your body. Whatever you prefer, whatever happens naturally. Once you feel some comfort and connection, you may ask, what would you like me to know? If you have some paper and something to write with, feel free to write it down, what you'd like to remember. And after a meditation like this, uh, if you feel extra energy, you may touch your hands to the ground and release extra energy into the earth. It's a possibility, or you might just let that energy settle in. So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about pre-verbal parts. This is in response to a question a client who's also a therapist asked this week. When a part of someone you're working with is so young as pre-verbal, how do you or your client communicate with that part? So the answer is it's a lot like relating to any baby. According to Erickson's stages of development, the first 2 years of life are when a person learns trust versus mistrust. When the parenting is healthy and the stage is navigated successfully, the child learns to trust basic needs for nourishment, caring, safety, and affection will be met in life. So for indirect access, when you're guiding the person to connect with the part, you can invite the person you're working with to notice how the pre-verbal part seems to be feeling. What is the body language? What emotions seem likely? And, of course, how does the person feel towards this pre-verbal part? Invite the person to be present with love and compassion with the baby part and to attune to that pre-verbal part. If the baby is upset, what might the baby need? So the focus isn't on like getting information, but more on like, what might that baby need? If the baby's upset, does the baby need to be fed, changed, have a hand on its back or belly? Perhaps the baby would like to be held, given a fun toy or a cooling teething toy, brought to a safe place if the baby's not safe. Depending on the level of attunement, the person might get it right on the first try or may need to try several things, just like people often try several things when they have an upset baby. It's that caring that's so healing for this pre-verbal part. So the focus here really is on what does that baby part need? What will help the part feel better? So now, before we do the demo with Rasangi today on what or I'm going to describe the protocol of working with polarized parts with and without brain spotting. Today, the demo will be without brain spotting, um, without the gaze spot. So, in the criminal justice system, they discovered that, it's not perfect decisions, but the best decisions are made when an impartial, hopefully expert judge makes the decision after hearing from both sides. So for IFS, you help the person find the parts with the polarized views on some issue or some decision. And this may be a good time to let both parts know that the person's self or soul will be making the decision after hearing from both of them. So that alone can reduce a lot of, I've seen with clients, that alone can reduce a lot of internal conflict. It's like, oh, I don't have to keep arguing with this other part to, so that I can, win and get to be the one to make the decision. It's self, it's soul who's going to be making the decision, not me. That burden of responsibility is not on me, and it's also not going to be my polarized part. So you then ask the person which part has the upper hand. I was taught to start with the part who has the upper hand. And if neither part has the upper hand, I just ask the person, self, soul, which part she or he would like to start with. Ask the polarized part if it's willing to be in the gallery. Um, Gallery is quite helpful because then they can get more understanding about where the other part's coming from, what it's about for the other part. And then, I let them know they'll have equal time. So this is dividing the session time to allow equal time for both polarized parts, to have preferably 2 rounds. The second round will be shorter than the first. After the part who has the upper hand speaks, invite them to trade places so you can hear from the part who doesn't have the upper hand. On occasion, I will ask the parts if they would like to meet with each other, afterwards, facilitated by the client's soul or self. And this is after both parts have expressed and been heard, and both parts have been informed their person's soul will be making the decision. So today for the demo, we're going to do direct access. So when you do direct access, you invite both parts to come to the forefront of the person's consciousness, ready to speak through them. And then I just ask them to make their case. And so another way of doing this process is doing it with brain spotting. And that's inviting each polarized part to speak directly through the client. So that's done with direct access while the other part watches from the gallery. And this is also time for equality. And once a part is ready to speak, use the pointer to find the brain spot where the part feels the strongest. Then invite the part to make its case while gazing at the spot where the part feels the strongest, while gazing at that spot. So this is the direct access. The part is speaking directly through the person to the therapist. The listening therapist or helper may let the part know it's heard and understood by nodding, or maybe occasionally a brief comment such as "I get it." I usually prompt if they stop speaking, is there anything else that you'd like to say to make your case? So, and then once that part has shared, or, I'll let them know if they don't have much time. So time could be a factor, but often it's not. It switches with the part in the gallery who also speaks through the person while gazing at the brain spot where it feels the strongest. Now, with this, during the second round, the therapist or helper can ask the parts if they're willing to speak while gazing at the spot where the other part felt the strongest, or perhaps a spot halfway in between if they're like, no, I don't want to speak from the other person, from the other part's spot. Um, and that often really creates a shift. It's amazing how often by the time this process is complete, um, there's no longer really a polarization in the system, or the parts are much less polarized. So it might be helpful to again let the parts know that the person's self or soul will be making the decision, so they don't have that responsibility. This can ease the intensity of internal conflict and polarizations, and the parts are often relieved by this, especially if they trust the person's soul, if some trust has been built. Um, Letting the parts know that one of the qualities of self or soul is clarity and another is connectedness can help with that. Okay, Rasungi, we'll do a demo of direct access without the brain spotting. So what would you like to focus on for this?
So this is interesting, and it's kind of personal. I'm glad we have confidentiality here. Um, you know, it's about and
So,
we can.
Rasungi, just to remind you that this being filmed, so not the same confidentiality as,
Okay,
as we mentioned in the beginning and the
and that's a good reminder. Thank you so much for that.
uh,
I mean, it's not like a really deeply personal issue, a traumatic issue, but it's
mm,
kind of personal. Am I exposing my Achilles heel, let's say? So, when we talked about this, I wasn't sure because there's a couple of things that I have going on that um, there's some polarization around. This one seems to be the most important right now. So it's okay. It's there's two parts of me that on one hand I love my family and I'm a part of their lives. I have friends and I have a job still. I work, a few hours a week. Um, and that part I love. I feel vibrant and alive and young when I'm doing that. But on the other hand, the other part of me thinks, well, what about me and what I really want to do with my time every day? What would I do? If I didn't have those needs or demands from others. I was demanding anything, but they ask for my help. I have a daughter who's going through a divorce, has small children, so I'm involved there. I helped raise my older grandchildren, who are now 21 and 23. And I've been doing this a long time. So I'm feeling like part of me, it's a devotee side, perhaps, that's really wondering if I need to be stepping back more, stepping back and just withdrawing a little at my age, 76. Kind of, not that I'm going to die, but I don't want to wait till I'm going to die to do it. So I want to be able to, and I don't have the energy and stamina to keep up anymore anyway, right?
mm,
So it's
it's
like,
a lot, yeah.
but yet my part of me feels this is the kind of sensitive part is that part of me feels guilty for not showing up and doing my part and like I always used to, you know?
Mm.
That part wants to be as involved and active and useful and helpful and mom-ish or grandma-ish as I can. But the other part says, no, I'm tired. I don't have the energy for that.
Mm,
And yet I have a struggle inside to feel okay with it. Maybe there's some guilt or
mm,
shame that I can't do that so much anymore. I can't be as I used to. I'm probably not the only one that's experiencing this. It probably goes on with many people, but
many, yes.
and yet it's like who am I if I'm not that, right? Who am
Mm,
I if I'm not that with them and doing and babysitting and helping, and I love doing it, but like I reflect on my energy level and what's best for me now, right?
mm.
Yeah,
Would you like to hear from both parts?
yeah. I, okay, for sure.
Okay. And which part would you say has the upper hand?
Oh, I definitely think the perpetual, ever flowing breast. I mean, I'm saying this, that a part that gives and gives and gives,
Mm,
always there to give and to help out, and loves
mm.
doing it, and I love myself for being able to do that.
And where is she located in or around your body?
I mean, I sort of feel here in this.
Mm,
She's in my heart or chest or throat. All those things are kind of speaking up a little bit.
mm. And where is the other part located?
Maybe the left side, somewhere over here. That's my,
Uh-huh. So a little bit outside of your left side of your head?
yeah, something like that.
Mm, mm,
It's a
and,
niggling feeling. I get a niggling feeling from that part a lot.
mm. And focusing on the part who has the upper hand, what else do you notice about her in your chest throat area?
Well, it feels kind of heavy right now, by the way. I'm feeling kind of a weightiness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It feels kind of all of a sudden a little bit of a pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a heart attack, it's just pressure.
And how do you feel towards this pressure and this feeling in your chest?
I feel like, how do I feel toward it? It's like if I feel pressured, I feel kind of like expectation, an expectation, like it's, oh,
How do you feel towards this part?
towards it.
How do you feel towards this part?
Oh, on the one hand, I'm feeling, uh, what came to me is on the one hand, I'm feeling grateful because it is keeping me vital. That part is
Mm.
keeping me involved with life and vital.
So right now we're just checking for self energy. So you don't have to get so much into the content.
Okay.
It's just more of like a feel towards. How do you feel towards this part? Does your heart feel a bit open to her? Feel any compassion perhaps or something else?
I'm feeling a little resentment.
Mm,
I'm feeling like, isn't that enough already? You know what I mean? Haven't I done enough already?
hmm
When is it going to be enough?
And is that your polarized part you're feeling, or is it another part?
Mm, mm.
Well, let's go ahead and ask the polarized part if she's willing to be in the gallery and watch. Let her know that you yourself will be making the decision and that she will have equal time to respond to whatever the other part says.
So this is that part that wants me to be involved and that part.
That's the part with the upper hand. So the part that you're inviting to give space is left side of your head part.
Oh, asking that part that's encouraging me to retreat a little bit, going into
Uh-huh.
the gallery. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. She's going to go. She's very quiet, shy kind of. So she's
Oh,
happy to
okay.
do that.
Uh-huh. Um, thank her for that. Find her a comfortable seat.
Recliner with her feet up.
And the part with the resentment, where's that part located in or around your body?
I mean, I'm getting energy on the right side here, the right side of my body.
Hmm.
Resentment.
And how do you feel towards that part on the right side of your body?
I'm compassionate for that for now. I feel like patting her, patting it,
Mm.
kind of try to calm her down. And,
Try to calm her down. Is there a manager part that's willing to kind of ease back and give some space? Or is that your self-compassion?
um, that's a good question. I mean, I thought that the compassion was coming from the real me, from me,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
but
just checking.
oh, just feeling the pressure and just feeling a little compassionate towards that.
Mm. And it's possible that that part is more polarized with the other part. Um, so go ahead and let this part know that you yourself will be making the decision. And let her know she'll have equal time and ask her if she's willing to be in the gallery and watch.
Compassion part, go to the gallery, right?
No, compassion part
Okay.
was you. You assured me that was
Oh, yes.
yourself. So this
So
is the part with the resentment. And if there's any sort of confusion part, and just invite any other parts to relax and ease back and give some space. Any protectors.
wow, I feel very exposed,
Ah,
naked.
yes. I understand. I understand. And the part with the resentment, is she willing to go into the gallery?
Sure. She needs a break.
Mm. Go ahead and find her a comfortable seat in the gallery.
Okay.
And if you want, you can let her know a recliner is an option.
They're all choosing recliners with their feet up.
And now focus your attention on this part in your chest and invite her to come to the forefront, like ready to speak through you. And have her let me know, or just let me know when she's ready.
Yeah. I think she's ready because I'm feeling a little tearful.
Mm, mm.
It's uh, it's like I don't want to let anybody down. I I have a thing about, yeah, not letting people down.
Yeah, and
And
this is your opportunity to speak through Rasangi and make your case for not letting anyone down, for continuing to help and be there for others. Go, go ahead and make your case, and I'm listening.
yeah, it's like I feel like the matriarch of the family, which I am, and I kind of have an old paradigm about what the matriarch of the family is like. And my mother is kind of like that, kind of the shot caller and the pivotal person in the family. And I fear what will happen if I step back. If I'm not involved to give my support and motherly or grandmotherly attention and advice and clinical professional, that comes in too, because I'm supposed to know things and I can help in certain things. Of course, life can be so freaking messy. So, and it's messy. My family's kind of messy right now. And so I feel called to be involved. And yet I find myself tired and then worried. I carry away worries and I worry at night,
Mm,
in the middle of the night, and I start to worry. I just get up and chant my rounds at 3 in the morning, but my tendency is to want to worry. So I know it's
mm,
affecting me. I know these things are affecting me. And I
mm,
don't know if it's my duty to keep doing this. Is there an age cutoff where you don't have to, you're supposed to, like, I know in our tradition, men back off at 60, women kind of go to their children's and stay involved. But for me, I have these two parts that kind of are at
So it
odds.
sounds like we're not hearing directly from the part. So this part who's speaking for your system right now, thank her for her helpfulness and ask her if she's willing to relax and ease back and give space so that, well, that this part can have her time and make her case.
Okay. And you mean make her case for why she thinks
So
this is
the part who's speaking for your system, speaking about it and for it, is she willing to give space? Ask her if she's willing. Thank her for her helpfulness. Let her know your age in case she's thinking you're younger than you are. And ask her if she's willing to just give some space, just temporarily, just for a few minutes. Great. So the polarized parts can speak for themselves, make their case, and be heard.
very good. All right. Yeah, I think I see what you mean. Um, the rationalizing or problem solving, that part, trying to understand it. I want her to go away.
Well, let her know we're not like trying to make her go away, but it's just for this process. It'll work best if is she
Okay.
willing to be in the gallery? She can watch. Let her know she can watch. And oftentimes figuring it out parts really like being in the gallery because they can get more information that will help them to figure it out.
Okay.
Is she willing to give some space?
Sure. She's trusting you
Mm.
to help me to get to this. And maybe it's a really vulnerable piece of me or something. That's why these parts keep coming in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Protectors get activated when they sense some vulnerability, for sure. So is she, let me know when she's in the gallery.
A lot of recliners going up there. It's like watching a show. Okay.
Mm. So now inviting the part, this chest throat part, to speak directly through you. And
Mm.
part, let me know when you are ready to speak through Rasangi so that you can make your case.
I think I'm ready. I think what it is, yeah, I'm afraid to let go for a couple of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid of not helping, that it'll be damaging for my family. They might stumble more and fall and not have that wisdom that age brings. And then, like I said before, who will I be if I'm not that? So I think
Mm.
there's a couple of things going on. Wanting to be helpful, thinking they need my help, and which I'd like to let go of.
Would you like to let go of that? You are the part who is making your case for helping. And it's possible that you're feeling like, burdened by this role. What's it like for you? Do you like your job, or are you feeling burdened by it and wanting to let it go?
I think what I'm most concerned about, now that you ask, is the wear and tear on my body and my mind that it
Mm,
that it brings. If I didn't
mm,
if I didn't have to have, because I think I know that things affect us. The body keeps the score, so to speak, and I'm more careful. I'm more concerned now about those things shortening my life or affecting my
mm.
quality of life. So if I didn't have to be worried, I like to have fun with them. It's the trouble parts, the
So,
23.
so either we're not hearing from the part who really wants to keep helping, or um, you as a part are very aware of the negative impacts on Rasangi's body, on her health. I'm just curious, are we hearing directly from you, the part who's normally located in Rasangi's chest, who, um, who wants to keep helping?
Oh,
Um, or is there still another part speaking for you?
maybe I don't want to keep helping so much. Maybe it's
Ah,
like, maybe it's that I want a way out, but I don't see it. I feel kind of trapped.
oh, I get it.
I feel kind of like obligated,
Mm,
to be able to be a good mother, grandma, devotee,
mm.
right?
And what are you most afraid will happen if you step back?
Well, I'm a little afraid of especially my grandchildren, daughter, of them not being able to do well on their own. Kind of dumb, but still, that's a concern. It's kind of
That makes
over.
sense. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. It doesn't sound dumb to me.
Okay, it's not
Yeah.
an overinflated sense of importance.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Part of me thinks I'm God, right? I think I'm the healer and I'm a helper and I have this ability. I know that can be there, especially when we can help and we know we have helped. But
mm,
yeah,
mm.
so
Um, so you're feeling kind of stuck in this role. It sounds like you're seeing this role as creating wear and tear, and you're feeling kind of stuck. So if Rasungi found a way that, or if Rasungi herself perhaps um, handled this responsibility and you were freed up to do whatever you would most like to do, like your dream job in her system, what might that be?
a dream job. I don't think in terms of jobs anymore, but you
Mm,
mean, what I see myself doing is just being a devotee, chanting, hearing, being close to a temple that I love, just absorbing myself in spiritual life more and more. That's
mm,
that
mm.
thing.
Yeah, so you'd like to go from like, I'm stuck. I really have to keep helping. Maybe, maybe they won't be able to do well on their own if I don't help them. And you're wanting to, it sounds like you're wanting to shift from that to, you know, encouraging Rasangi in devotional activities, encouraging her to have more association and perhaps even live near a temple. Did I hear you?
And travel, I love to go to different programs in different places, have the
Hmm.
freedom and the finances, of course, to be able to. That's my dream anyway, is to, you know what I mean, to be able to have access like 24/7 to devotional life
Mm,
and association, just yummy association, uplifting.
mm.
And yeah, so there's those two sides.
Okay, now we're hearing from not the part again. But it's helpful, isn't it, to know that you have a manager who will speak for the parts. So you may have parts in your system who, haven't had that experience of really being heard, being able to speak for themselves and being heard and understood. So no one's doing anything wrong, you know, but it's probably helpful for you or son just to be aware that there's that part. And when the time is right, you can give her some attention. And so for now, this part in your chest who feels really obligated to help, feels a lot of pressure to help, and that feels the fear that if she stops helping, that people she cares about won't be able to
Or
make it work on their own.
will suffer. They'll suffer somewhere if I don't
Yeah,
suffer
and
more.
yet this part, really wants more, wants to be a devotional part. So is she okay now to swap places with the part with the resentment so we can hear from that part?
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, and it's not
And
just
now go ahead and invite the resentment part to come to the forefront of your consciousness to make her case and to express how she feels about, the helping that she sees and the influence that that other more helper part has created in your system. So,
this is the part of me that wants to be just retreat, right? The
uh,
retreating.
this is the part kind of right side with the resentment towards the other part. Yeah, that's the part that was most polarized. The resentment, not the shy part that hangs out sort of outside of your body. This is the part sort of,
Oh, the
you know,
resentment.
yeah, the part with the resentment. The second part who went and found a place to recline.
Yeah, the resentment is about why do I,
So
why?
invite that part to come to the forefront of your consciousness so that she can speak directly through you to me.
Okay.
And and part, let me know when you're here, ready to speak through Rasangi.
Hmm. It's interesting. I'm having a hard time with that word resentment. Um,
Yeah, well, you mentioned I feel resentment. The
well,
part
I
mentioned I
feel
feel resentment. So we don't need to use that word at all. That came
uh,
from the part. So
obligated.
when that part is ready to speak directly through you with whatever's going on for her right now,
Just
um, I invite the
obligation.
part to let me know when when she's ready to speak through you.
So the part that feels obligated. I'm obligated. I feel obligated. I feel obligated.
We've heard from that part. We've
So
heard
I'm
from that
not
part.
sure
So
the other
in,
is.
so once again, see if I mean if the other parts are not willing to give space for the polarized part, no part has to give space. And I know that so that we can demo this polarization that I'm probably, being a little more insistent than I would ordinarily be in a session, so that we can demo hearing from both parts that are polarized just around this issue of helping and priorities.
Can I mention something? What I'd really like to talk about is the dream of the other part that's tired and that wants space.
Oh, okay. So go
Because
ahead and invite that part to speak through you.
she can come. She's in my throat. I feel it very
Ah,
emotional. Because,
so
yeah, she,
go ahead and speak directly through Rasangi. So you're actually speaking for yourself. And if you'd like, just share what it's like for you, all this helping and I'm listening.
I always have had a dream. I think you know that to be more intimately involved with devotees,
Mm,
spiritually and in healing ways. And
mm,
I see my life going and my obligations still continuing. And I'm just wondering if that's ever going to happen. I'm
mm,
feeling like I really want to do that. I want to, my happiest times were waking up, doing morning program. I love attending classes, having the excitement of devotee life. And I thought I would have that, but it seems like material necessity, obligation, finances have kind of kept me from doing that. So I'm
mm,
sad and I'm wondering what happened to that. Do I have to wait till another life? That's where I'm a little stuck because that
mm,
part of me wants to have that and yet doesn't want to shirk my responsibility either, but really wants to be connected like that in the core, from the core of me.
mm. So now we have a part talking about this other part. So this part who wants space, this part who came from the left side of her sungi, from through her throat, now ready to speak. Is there anything else that you want us to know about what you'd like to see happen?
Hard to imagine, but I dream that I would be near a temple that I love and believe in and feel really belonging in. Yeah, I want to belong. I want to belong in a spiritual community and feel purpose there. I want to feel purpose there. I feel purpose in other parts of my life, but it's different. I want to feel that I'm really serving Krishna's children and family, and,
Mm,
and that I'm being nourished. I'm doing the best that I for myself that I can at this point in my life. That I'm doing Krishna's will. I'm just yeah, I'm confused. Why I always ask, what is Krishna? What do you want from me? What would you like me to do? Um, and here I am still. But that's my dream is to be part of a healthy community where
mm,
devotees really love each other and support each other, nurture, are there to help each other. That really nourishes me. Even the thought of it is like it's called tadatmya. Actually, it's like one in spirit. It's like an empathic connection. And I don't
mm,
exactly have that here in the
mm,
community that I'm part of now. So
mm,
looking forward, I dream of that.
mm. Anything else you want to share? We still have a minute.
Just
We've heard from the other part who really feels stuck in obligation. Is there anything else that you want to share to, you know, um, encourage your dream? Anything else that you want to say?
yeah, I was just hoping to get a little more clarity as far as letting go of the reins a little bit in this part of my life and not feeling guilty about it. I'm feeling more at peace with doing that because I am doing it. I'm kind of doing, I have to because my health and this and that. And I just want to feel like not like I'm, not doing what I should be doing. I feel okay about it, feel happy and joyous and just moving more in the direction of tightening up or thickening my relationship with Krishna, Radha Krishna.
Hmm.
That's the nuts and bolts of it. Is it doesn't matter where I am if I can connect and really become more attached, more fall in love, become more a part of that. But being so busy, it's hard to do that. So
Um, yeah, so part who wants more of that, is that you noticing that more of that devotional connection is happening and the association is happening? Is that something you're noticing or no?
it is happening. I feel it in a
Uh,
different community that I'm part of. It's satisfying my heart and soul. Yeah, but I want more of that.
and you want more. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You want more.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe that's a little good sign. I'm a little greedy for that.
I
And
understand. Yeah.
but how to let go of the responsibility, the perceived responsibility.
Mm,
I mean,
mm,
nobody's keeping me bound up, right? Expecting everything, but I do myself. So I
mhm.
need to let go and feel okay.
So do
But
you? as a part, do you expect it for yourself, or are you talking about another part? Are we going back to the chest part expecting, or a different part expecting? I mean, uh, for this demo, you're the part, sounds like, who really wants to live near a temple, wants a healthy devotional community, wants more association, wants to really have that be the priority in Rasangi's life. And are you okay with knowing that Rasangi herself will make the decision? So no other part needs to feel responsibility or sense of guilt that may come with that responsibility. So what's that like for you knowing that Rasangi's soul herself will make this decision, will make these kinds of choices? And the qualities of her soul that she has, include clarity and connectedness. So what's that like for you as a part, knowing that she will be making the decisions and choices connected with your issue?
I love this. I love that she got to express herself. She doesn't usually talk or,
Oh, this question is directed to her.
oh, well, she's feeling really happy.
And
I'm feeling,
let her speak through you.
I mean, but
Just see what
that's
it's
me.
like to let her speak through you and just say what it's like for her.
I'm really happy that I could express what I did.
Yeah, and
It's
what is it like for you knowing that Rasangi's soul will make the decision?
it's solidified and intensified that part of me that wants that. I felt good to
Mhm.
give her a voice, to let her speak,
Ah,
and
ah.
and like yeah, and we know that things happen. We have to be clear on stuff first for things to happen. So I'm getting clearer.
Wonderful. So go ahead and welcome the parts back from the gallery.
Okay, come on
And
back.
and the part who didn't have time, Rasangi, are you okay offering her um, some attention at a check-in, some other time?
Yeah,
Let
I'm
her
not
know
even
she'll get some attention at another time if that's true for you, that you'll give her attention at another time.
okay. I'm not sure who she is. I just see the two sides. I would really the
Well, we were going to hear from the two sides, um, but you expressed wanting to hear from the third part. So there were three parts. And I actually did this process with someone where there were three parts, not just two, just this week. So I was a little bit pre-prep. There might be, is this a sign? Might there be three parts on Thursday?
so funny.
Um, so just for time, are
Sure.
you okay
Yes.
offering that third part, which was the right side, the part that you mentioned feeling some resentment, upset? Are you okay offering her time and attention at another time?
Yes. Sure.
I think
That's
she'll feel better if she knows she'll get to be heard also.
okay. I will give her attention.
Mm, mm.
That was great.
And such a vital and relevant issue for especially devotees, I think, so many devotees don't have what that part is really yearning for, that sense of healthy community and
Yeah.
support and you know um,
Real belonging and like
belonging and maybe installed deities and temple program easily accessible without having to travel. Yeah, I get it. And also the traveling, the pilgrimages,
so fun.
and
Yes.
then and then the finances. Yeah, it's a lot. And this is I totally understand and can relate to this struggle. And
So many of us didn't save for that rainy day. We thought we were supposed to just live hand to mouth, kind of, and you know, we didn't really save a lot of money. So
yeah, and it's not like you're paying into Social Security when you're doing devotional service also. So yes, it's something that's very relevant. Thank you so much for volunteering for this demo today. Thank you
it
so
was very helpful,
much.
so helpful. I
Ah,
had to surrender.
oh, thank you. So, um, so I think we'll go ahead and do this meditation, and maybe just have a shorter time for questions today. So, I'd asked, and hopefully you have, something to write with, draw with, bringing a pen or pencil and sort of a human outline, rough outline to be able to just map some parts. Uh, so this is actually visualizing someone who triggers you. And you can imagine that they're in a room and there's a one-way picture window where you can see this person. And you're looking in at them and just kind of, noticing that there's something about this person that triggers you. Now notice the first part that surfaces for you. Where is that part located in or around your body? What else do you notice about this part? How does it feel and look? Get acquainted so the part can notice you and know it's not alone. Is there anything the part wants you to know? Now, if you'd like, make a note on your human-shaped outline with an arrow pointing to the location of the part. If you got a name or want to sort of give a name to the part, you can jot that down. Now invite this part to give some space so you can see who else surfaces. Notice the next part that surfaces. And now can get curious and explore where it's located and what its qualities are and its awareness of your attention, how you feel towards this part. And then can ask if there's anything the second part wants you to know. And now you can map the second part on your drawing and ask the second part if you're willing, if the part's willing to give space. And now notice the next part that surfaces. Repeat the find, focus, flesh out, feel towards, and an open-ended question with this third part. Notice the next part and repeat until either no more parts surface or you've done two more, making five. And when you're complete, raise your hand or a virtual hand. And when it seems like most people are complete, we'll go on to questions and answers. Okay. Um, before the questions and answers, I just want to give my comment about the demo today. It was a good example of a demo where um, a person you're working with might let you know that this is a really vulnerable issue or situation, and they're kind of giving you a hint that there might be, protectors involved in the process. It might not just be simple, okay, now we're hearing from this part and we're hearing from the polarized part. They're speaking directly. Um, and, normally if that happens in a session, I know I really wanted to demonstrate the polar, but you can see how there was some pushback by my doing that, by my like saying, okay, I want to hear from the part rather than protector. And so there was pushback from the protector. And, what I would ordinarily do in session is say, okay, we need to take a bit of time with this protector to build safety, to get the real permission that allows the protector to give space, that has the protector feeling safe enough to give space. So, and in that situation, had I done that, it actually might have gone, you know, there might have been plenty of time for that and um, and hearing from the polarized parts, maybe even all three. So what seems expedient with IFS might not be that way. So it's good in this to have an example of, and this is a common protector that I found, a protector that speaks for parts. So parts are not speaking for themselves. The protector doesn't feel safe, really accessing the parts and allowing them, giving them space to speak for themselves. It's a common protector, kind of considered a manager protector. So I wanted to express that. Any questions, comments, um, uh, any, Canada? You're muted still.
Thank
There you
you,
go.
Rasangi, for doing that. That looked like, thank you. I found that this demo very instructive and I appreciate it very much. I appreciate your comments at the end as well. I, in fact, did a session with somebody yesterday and I encountered some very similar things, but I didn't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
So I found this really, really good. So the question would be, if you do encounter these protectors that you haven't quite developed enough trust with, like if you had an hour and you're encountering this one protector after another, do you just like stop attempting what you were attempting to do and what try to develop some relationship with the protector? Like where would you go? How would you take this if you were actually in session and you had time, or you had time limit, but you wanted to take it to the next step?
It's best to give the protector the time, you know, and the updating. Is the protector updated? How old does the protector think the person is? Um, just giving time and space for the protector to be heard and understood. And a lot of times protectors don't get appreciation in the system. So, um, even protectors that can seem totally troublesome may well have helped that person survive whatever trauma that person's been through. So just, giving them that appreciation, what asking the protector, um, what would help you, you now know your person is a mature adult. What would help you to trust the person? You can guide your person and ask, how can I earn your trust?
Mhm.
That's a good question to ask a protector. And what would help you feel more safe? Just really befriending the protector. And, with some people, giving time is not even just giving the whole session, but multiple sessions. Just knowing that a strong protector, building safety with that protector and trust to the point where that protector is going to allow more access into, other parts of the system, or even access to another protector.
Yeah, right.
So with IFS, the protectors are honored and given the attention they need. Um, so, as therapists, as helpers, we tend to have a helper part that's like, oh, I just want to access that exile. I want to help that exile unburden all this pain that's in the system. And 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 this therapist may have a part who wants to rush the process. And the person may have a part who wants to push and rush the process. So that's where it can get a little tricky. Um, so so even just giving attention to a protector, it may be helpful to ask, a rushing, pushing, pressuring part if that part's willing to give space. At any point, if a part is not willing to give space, the attention goes to that part. So that's the protocol.
And I guess it's a matter of practice where you start recognizing the parts and I guess, certain way they talk clues you in to their activity within the system. This is a protector, this is a manager. Like I also saw with Rasungi, as you were seeing parts coming in, but I don't know if I would have been able to identify them. So is that just a matter of practice or reading maybe more about IFS?
Um, pra Practice helps. But you can, in that demo, I wasn't sure, so I asked. So asking is really, you know, even if you think you are sure, asking is really
Well, I mean,
helpful.
it seemed like there's a couple of points where you were trying to talk to three people, like, wait a minute, who am I talking to right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so that, and the feel towards process, the kinds of things that help the person self unblend from their parts. Is that helps clear space for, you know, the person's self in one part at a time. And hopefully the therapist self, like when the person's doing it, the therapist may also notice, or the helper may also notice, oh, I think I have an agenda here. So let me just quietly go inside and clear more space so I can be really present with whatever part is showing up. And you saw in the demo, what happens when, you know, I'm the therapist is like, this is a demo. I do have an agenda. And it doesn't always go completely smoothly when that's happening. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I think it was perfect. And it was very helpful learning experience. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Pranada. Rasangi.
Yeah, my question is, how did you know when it was the part speaking and not me? That like, is it the way the sentence was phrased? Is it, what about that tunes you into that? Because I thought I was talking for myself, but you heard that it was a part. So I think it's like Rhonda was saying, but like when I was speaking, what gave it away that it was not really me, but it was a part?
So you asking about there was one time in the demo where um, I was just trying to see if it was yourself. But most of this is a demo where it's direct access hearing from a part. So for much of it, there was another part speaking for the part, but none of it was about hearing from yourself at that point. Because this is a protocol for polarization. So the whole process was hearing from one part at a time, speaking directly through you. Um, so I'll speak more generally. Hints that you're not speaking from, hearing from the part. Um, if they're talking about sort of the whole system and what's going on with the whole person's life, you're hearing from could be self, could be a protector, a manager, who is accustomed to speaking for parts. And so it's like, oh, well, a part's going to speak. Well, I speak for that part. That I don't give space for that part to speak for herself. Maybe that's not safe. So, you know, um, and maybe more so if in the person's family of origin there was a lot of shutdown, you know, where the person didn't have the space to really, for different parts to speak for themselves, for the person, for the child to speak for herself. Um, so, uh, a manager protector can step in to just kind of speak for just about everybody, that can happen. And I've experienced that working with people. I'm glad we have an example of it because it is quite common, actually. Yeah.
It's so blended. It feels like part who you are, and yet it's not. They're different parts that came in for
Mm.
different reasons. It's like really interesting to unblend them. To
Yeah. And quite often with particularly vulnerable parts, helping the part to come out of the person's body can really help with that unblending, you know, especially if there's a tendency towards empathy. So then you have, the self blended with the part and feeling everything the part's feeling. And so there's not kind of a sort of a pure healer, clear healer to uh, with a person to help the part to heal.
fascinating. Thank you. And that
Yeah,
was
and
quite amazing.
at one point in your session, I asked, if there's a protector who creates confusion, would you be willing to give space? And that can often help bring more clarity to a session.
Fascinating. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy right now. I feel like, yay, I got to really, that part of me got to really express herself and have her dream like validated. It's important. Yes, it's important. It's not just, I made it more important and pivotal. Thank you.
Yeah, and the part, another thing that happened in your session is the I'm going to put air quotes now because she was in the end she was not really polarized, but the polarized part expressed that, she had parts don't always have the awareness of the impact of what they're doing, and that part is aware. That part's like, there's health impacts, there's all kinds of, impacts from my I caring so much and helping so much? Um, and she just said, I feel stuck. So when a part is feeling stuck, um, Rasangi, you have the opportunity to 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 just kind of offer, say, what would help you feel less stuck? What if I took this job, this job that's leaving you feeling stuck? So, in IFS, the more self-leadership, the more peace, clarity, ease in the system. So thank you so much again. And Padmavati,
Hi.
I,
I really appreciated this the topic of this session because I come from a family where me, my mother, and sister are all really struggle with making decisions, and we get stuck feeling polarizing things, it's just a bit all pervasive kind of theme in all three of our lives where just have a lot of trouble making decisions, feeling conflicted. So I appreciated learning about this technique to help with that. And then I just had a question. So with this exercise we did with the identifying different parts we felt in relationship to someone that maybe triggered us,
mhm.
after we've identified these things, if you're doing this with a client, what's the next step?
Um, so that's more of a group meditation. It helps to identify trailheads for, further attention. So, um, but if I was working one-on-one with a client and because you can also do that one-on-one, um, then we could give attention to those parts one at a time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, and just let each part speak and be heard and validated like that.
Well, also some of the other, if a part is thinking, the person's 5 years old, the updating, whatever the part needs. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but sometimes the first part that shows up is, this sort of the stronger protector. You might start there. Um, some of the later parts that showed up, maybe more vulnerable, or maybe they were all protectors. So, um, but working with a client, at some point, you're going to get to who is everybody protecting, and and protectors definitely tend to feel much safer, more relaxed, happier when vulnerable parts that they're protecting are unburdened, retrieved into the present if they're stuck in the past, and given, giving whatever compassionate attention that the part wants or needs, and being witnessed. Well, witnessing is one of the first steps because vulnerable parts are very exiled in the system by all the protectors. So it's a big deal for a vulnerable part to be heard. Sometimes not every step in the protocol is necessary. Sometimes the vulnerable part their pain will be completely healed just by being heard, or um, just by knowing they're not alone, or by having the person's self go into, scary scenes in the past as an adult protector. Just that visualization alone, can sometimes heal a vulnerable part. I'll check, do you still feel any pain? Would you like to do some unburdening? How would you like to unburden? Yeah.
Thank you.
And I hope that Padmavati, that you and your family are able to get benefit from this process. I mean, sometimes just as self reassuring the whole system at once, I, I've got this decision, I will make this decision. You don't have to to worry, stress, fret, feel guilty, whatever the parts are doing around a decision. I've got this. I have, one of the qualities of your soul, of who you are, is that confidence. So expressing that confidence, letting them know you've got the clarity, you're feeling the connection to guidance, and letting the other parts know it's safe to relax. Or you can, internally hear from. Now, some people have an easier time accessing their parts in writing, and I'm one of those people. So you can invite, if you're feeling polarized around a decision, you can invite a part to, if you can, just hear them have a conversation, that's great. If not, you can invite the part to write through you, invite the polarized part to write through you. Um, and then, let them know they've been heard and that you yourself will be making the decision. So, there we are. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. And I have a demo lined up for the first hypnotherapy class. See you next week.